Hi, second grade friends. I am so excited to go over a lesson with you today on two-syllable words. Now, if you remember a couple weeks ago, we did talk about two-syllable words, but we talked about compound words. So we're just going to do a quick review of what a compound word is. Remember, we said if you had a small word and you had another small word and you put them together without any spaces all together, then that becomes a two-syllable compound word. And the cool thing about a compound word is that if you understand both the meanings of those words, you can understand the new meaning of the compound word. Let's take a look at a really simple compound word, like the word cannot. Cannot. If I was to divide that between the two syllables, and we talked about that last week with syllabication, I would see the word can, k-a-n. We can sound that out. I would also see the word not, n-ot, not, and I could put those two words together, cannot, and make a compound word, like we see here, cannot. And we can talk about the meaning, can being able to do something, and not meaning kind of no. So if you're not able to do something, you cannot do it. I want to do just a quick review before we move on. I'm going to tap my camera here because it wants to become too light and you won't be able to see the smart board. So I want to do a quick review on why it is going to be easy to read these two-syllable words, because the rule we talked about last week is that a syllable will never have more than 3 sounds, right? It can have one sound. Let me erase this line real quick. And let's talk about that. So you could have this word, which is a sight word, a, and it has one sound, a. You can have this word with 2 sounds, at, I am at school. I can have a syllable with 3 sounds, at, c-a-t, at, cat. I cannot have a syllable with more than 3 sounds. But look at this. I'm going to put my squiggle here, and I bet you're yelling at the video right now that you know that's a digraph, correct? So I can have this digraph, ch, ch, a-at, teat, ch, at, chat. So I can have this word, this syllable, 1-syllable word, but I can have 4 letters, C-H-A-T. So I have 4 letters, but only 3 sounds, because a digraph, remember, are 2 letters that come together that make 1 sound. So I wanted to go over that really quickly. Whoop, I gotta get rid of, hold on 1 second. Okay, so I had this word come up, and I'm going to have to go back. Hold on. Stop. Okay, so I have this word that comes up, sun. It's a 1-syllable word with 3 sounds. Let me get rid of that and bring up another word, set. Sun, set, sunset. If I put those together, I've got a compounded word, and I can put meaning when the sun sets below the horizon. That's the sunset, sunset. So I'm just reviewing some compound words really quickly before we move on. Let's take a look at another one. Lap. That's 1 syllable. Here's another syllable with 3 sounds. Top. Let's put that together. Top. Laptop. Laptop is a compound word with no spaces that has meaning using both of those syllables. A laptop is a computer that sits on your lap. Laptop. Pig. Pig is a word. Pig is 1 syllable. Let's look at the next syllable. P-e-n, pen. Pen is the second syllable in the word pig pen. Pig pen, pig pen. Pig pen is a compound word with no spaces. I can put meaning to that. A pig pen is a pen or a fenced-in area where you would keep your pigs. Pig pen. All right, so that was a quick review. Now let's talk about two syllable words where they are not individual words. You don't have two individual words. So remember, we've been practicing with our blending board, and sometimes we say this is a word, and sometimes we say this is not a word. We get those nonsense words. Three sounds that make a syllable. We can sound it out. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that. We can sound it out, but they are not a word. So let's take a look at this two-syllable word, basket. Basket. The first syllable is ba-a-s, bass. The second syllable is k-e-t. Hey, I have to ask you something. Why is this K a K and not a C? Do you see something? Are you remembering the cat and kite rule? I hope you were yelling that at the video today. All right, k-et is the second syllable. Bass, without that double S, without the Sammy rule, is not a word. And k-et by itself is not a word. But if I put it together, I've got the two-syllable word basket. And remember, we were able to do this last week by finding those vowels, drawing a bridge, finding our consonants. The S is the consonant and K is a consonant. And then we have the VCCV pattern, which I told you a couple weeks ago was the most popular pattern for two-syllable words. We drew our line right down the middle, and we were able to see basket, basket. We were able to sound each of those. Remember, it's really easy to sound out one syllable because there's never more than 3 sounds. All right, let me erase this. And let's take a look at some two-syllable words. All right, I can sound this out. G-a-b. Do that with me. G-a-b. Gob. Gob. So I don't know that as a word. Let's do the next syllable. L-I-n. Lin. Did you get that scrunchy nose with the I? Lin. I don't know that word. I don't know that syllable as a word. But I can put them together, and I have goblin, goblin, goblin. And a goblin at Halloween is a ghost or a scary creature. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at this syllable. R-a-b, rab. Not a word, but it is a syllable. B-it, bit. I recognize that as a word, but when I put these together, rabbit, rabbit, this is not necessarily a word in this two-syllable word. Rabbit, and we know what a rabbit is. There he is, that cute little guy. All right, let's keep going. Here's our next syllable. N-a-p, nap. And you're probably saying, I know that word. It's something I do when I sleep in the afternoon. K-in, kin. This is not a compound word because I can't put meaning to nap and kin, but together, napkin, napkin becomes a word. And that's something you use when you're eating to wipe your hands or to wipe your face. All right, let's keep going. Here's our next syllable. At. And again, you might be saying, I recognize this as a word. I am at school. But here's our second syllable. T-ick, tick. So together, at and tick, attic, becomes becomes attic, which is that space in your house at the very top. Some people just use it for storage. Some people might make it a room. I want you to listen to this word again, at and tick. When I said it, I didn't make that T sound twice. Because what happens in the middle of a two-syllable word is that if the consonant is the same, it kind of takes that 1-1-1 Sammy roll on and sounds like one sound. Attic, attic, attic. So you only hear that T sound once. So be watching for that in your two-syllable words. All right, let's do the next one. Here's the first syllable. G, a, s, goss. And the second syllable. S, ip, sip. Now you're probably saying, that's a word, Mrs. Borton. But when I put it together, you can't put meaning to goss and sip. So we're going to call that one word, gossip, gossip, gossip. Do you know what gossip is? It's probably something you shouldn't do. It's when you tell secrets to somebody or spread stories. It's not really a good thing to do, so don't gossip. All right, let's go on with the next word. Our first syllable is k, it. Do you see a rule in that syllable? What about that K? Yeah, you wouldn't use a C with an I, would you? Because of the cat and kite rule? K, it, kit. Let's take a look at the second syllable. T, e, n, ten. If I put that together, I have kit, ten, kitten, kitten. Ah, did you hear that T? Instead of making two sounds, it makes it the T sound one time because that Sammy rule kind of takes over right in the middle of that word. Kitten. And there's the kitten. Is, miss. Now you're probably thinking, last week we studied the 1-1-1 Sammy rule. Where's that other S? But remember, the 1-1-1 Sammy rule is when you have a one-syllable word. We're talking today about two-syllable words, right? It does have that one wimpy vowel, the I sound. But when it's two syllables, it cannot, you wouldn't always double it up, okay? So here we go with the second syllable. Ap, hap, mishap, mishap, mishap. Do you know what a mishap is? See, if you come to these words in your story and you're thinking, I've never seen this word before, do you see how we can sound it out? We're going to talk about syllabication later on when you get back to school this week. And we're going to show you how, I'm going to show you how you can draw the line and find your two syllables, because reading a one syllable with three sounds or less is super easy. But a mishap is when something gets spilled. I don't know if you can see this picture very well, but this is a picture of a store and it looks like some milk has been spilt on the floor. That was a mishap. Something that happened that was kind of a mistake. All right, let's go on. All right, ton, sill, tonsil, tonsil, tonsil. Ah, tonsil. In the back of your throat, you have some tonsils. Sometimes they take them out if you continue to have sore throats. Tonsil. Remember we talked about that A and N together. That A changes to a nasal sound. Van, van. Let's take a look at our next syllable. Ooh, there's that QU. Why is it on one sound card? We talked about that. It makes one sound. Those letters are always together. When the Q is in a word, you always have a U. Quish, quish. Three sounds, 1, 2, 3, but 5 letters in this syllable. Quish, quish. Vanquish, vanquish. I gave you a hard word. You may not know the meaning of this, but it means defeat. It means winning the battle. Vanquish, Vanquish. Great. We are finished with today's lesson. When you get back to school, like I said, we're going to do some dictation and practice figuring out how to divide these words. And we're going to do some syllabication, figure out how to divide these words, and then we'll practice spelling some words with our dictation. Great. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you when you get back to school.